What's up, guys? Welcome back to your favorite episode of Rabbit Trails. It's your favorite episode because I don't know what episode it is. Doesn't even matter, dude, because we know you love it.
We're ripping
You're here
it.
for it.
We're letting it
and
rip,
we've got
dude.
it. Dude, I'm letting it rip like the fart.
Dude, I said let it rip, and one of my students was like, "Are you talking about a fart?" And I was like, "No, it's like let something happen." And she was like super confused, and I was like,
That's awesome. She should be
"Yeah."
confused.
I was like, "It does mean that, but also
Yeah.
I'm not saying that." I'm like, you could use that in a fart instance for sure.
My favorite student already.
I don't think I would, but
That's what I do.
yeah,
I'd pull her to the side.
I was like, you're not wrong. So yeah,
That's what I do. I pull her to the side and I would be like, "Hey, listen, I acted confused about what you said earlier with the fart thing. So they don't know you're my favorite because that's exactly what I
hey,
meant."
listen, I did fart.
She goes, "I know, I heard it, and you're like, "Thank you
She's
so
like,
much."
honestly, I was thinking let it rip, but you said it, so I didn't have
You
to.
said it, and you did it, dude. I not even probably, I don't know, 15 minutes ago, I went to a bar. Now, I don't go to bars often.
Josh does not go to bars.
I went to see a dear friend because this friend is dear to me. And I haven't
Yes.
seen her in years, so I had to go
Okay.
see her. I went with a couple buddies and we were
Mhm.
just reminiscing. She's in town. So we went. And we went to a place that I thought we were eating. That's my thing. If you
Yeah.
go meet like a friend you haven't seen in a long time, you go get food.
Yeah.
I guess I missed the memo. We weren't eating, nor was I
Okay.
informed. So I am starving, and I'm waiting. This thing's like happening around 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, long time to wait to eat,
That's
but
so
whatever.
late, dude.
That's so late for anything, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's like fire. No, it's even late for fireworks because you should light fireworks as soon as it's dark enough to do so.
Yeah. 8:30,
So,
dude. Rather die.
so I'm texting Brandon, and I'm like, texting my buddy Brandon. I'm like, "Hey, when do we leave?" And he goes, "Whenever they leave the hotel." And I go, "Okay, I'm freaking starving." He goes, "You didn't eat?" I go, "No." I think that's a weird question to ask, but I leave it alone. I put it to bed, right?
Yeah.
And I continue. I'm playing on my PS5
Mhm.
because I have one.
As you do. Yeah.
Man, I hate to make people feel bad about that, but I have one. So like, if
Dude, you're just making me feel so poor right now. Like I've
and,
never felt
and you
poorer
are, and
than
you should feel
than
like
like
that, and
right now.
that's okay. So I'm just
Guys,
playing games, waiting to eat.
smash like if you feel poor right now.
Yeah.
This is gonna be our most liked video.
So I don't message Brandon back because he's like, "You didn't eat?" I said no. He goes, "That's rough." I just go, you know what? I'm not even gonna answer. I'm too hungry to answer. And then he texts me back again. He goes, "Did you think we were like eating?" And I go, "Why the frick else would we go?" He goes, "We were just going to get drinks." I'm like, "Why would you get drinks and not food?" And then I think, "Oh yeah, people go and just get drinks but don't get food."
People
Now
do
I'm
that.
now I'm upset because that is a thing people do, and I didn't understand that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
So now I'm angry and I'm hungry. And
Yeah.
one thing,
Hungry Josh, I don't want to meet him, I mean, I've met him
he's
before,
not.
but like
Yeah, it's not fun. So then I was like, I guess I'm gonna go get food and eat it in the parking lot before I go in.
wow, dude, that's low.
So then I'm driving around and everywhere's full, and then they're like, "We're meeting now," and I'm like, "But you can eat at the bar. You can eat
Mhm.
at the bar. It's just like
I would never
apparently
eat at a
it's
bar.
gonna be like super busy, and
It's gonna be
we weren't really
also get anything is gonna be microwaved. It's all gonna be microwaved.
we weren't really planning on staying long. So then I was like, I don't want to like order food and it take forever, and then we have to stay.
Yeah.
And then we get but then I'm driving around and everywhere's like packed, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to this bar. I'm gonna get food, and no one's leaving until I eat
Yeah.
because my pride's kicked in.
Right. Yeah. Your pride's kicked in. It's game over for them.
So then I came. So then I mean, it wasn't even busy. I got this chicken wrap. This chicken wrap was all right, but it was better than nothing. And
Yeah.
then it had some fries with it that were pretty good. And then this super
Okay.
sweet lady came by. She worked there, and she was like, she came with a tray of treats. It was just of one particular treat that she made, but she was like, "Hey, yesterday was Pecan Sunday day. It was a day about pecans."
Okay.
But Sunday was in the word, and I swear I wasn't drunk. And I go, today's Friday, yesterday was Thursday, not Sunday. So either she's a time traveler or she doesn't know the days. So
I hate to break it to you, man, but she was talking about ice cream.
but she okay, well then she doesn't know what ice cream is because it wasn't ice cream was what she brought. She didn't bring me ice cream.
What'd she bring you?
It was like a it was like a powdered it was like a it wasn't even a donut consistency. It was just like a powdered cake ball, but it wasn't cake either. It was kind of dry with with a
Ew.
pecan in it. It was really delicious. My point is, she gave us a free treat, and it was delightful, and she was super
Yeah.
sweet, and it was awesome. But just none of the things she said lined up with what it was. But
I see.
so I'm at the point in the bar where like I have been sociable with the people I know,
Yeah.
and I'm doing so now. I'm not talking as much because there's a lot of people coming in to the
Hmm.
bar. Particularly, there's a lot of the same looking people, so it freaks me out. And when I
Okay.
say that, what I mean is there's a lot of people in some Wrangler jeans and button up tees, baby
Yeah.
blue to be exact, with a cowboy hat on and a blazer.
Yeah.
So now I'm uncomfortable because I'm angry
Yeah.
because it's 98 degrees outside and
Yeah.
people are wearing like a full on like they just got out of like everyone looks like they're about to start Cotton Eye Joeing. They're about to interlock arms and they're about to start tap dancing and it's about to get real hot and sweaty in here and I
Yeah.
don't know why. And then a bunch of ladies show up and they're
Okay.
dressed in dresses. They look nice. And then
Okay.
there's cowboy boots. Hey, cowboy boots don't look good with anything. You can put them on with jeans that, boot cut jeans. But
IDK,
to
man,
me,
it's debatable.
you know what? And this is a thing, that I shouldn't judge them for wearing that. But I'm doing it. And
I
honestly,
mean,
live your
you
life if you want to
can.
do that. I can, and I'm doing it. If you
Yeah.
want to do that, that's fine. I don't like it,
But
and
just
that's my
know
own personal
Josh
problem.
will
Sorry.
will talk about it on the podcast and will hate it. But that's
I
okay
will hate
too.
it. And that's also okay. And you can
Yeah.
wear boots and rock it. I'm just
That's
being a
facts,
butthole,
dude.
and that's what we're doing right now.
Dude, you're
And this
just
is
being
my
real, dude.
dude,
Come
and
on.
that's just me being a butthole, and I'm gonna own that. And if you want to wear cowboy boots, if you want to wear cowboy boots, you should do that. Don't. But anyway, so okay. So then these two people are walking up to our bar, and it looks to be a couple.
Hmm.
They're walking up to us, and I'm like, I know they're not here for me,
Okay.
but they're making eye contact with me, so I'm like, I don't know them. Maybe they're gonna ask me to be like a third in this. So I was
Okay.
like, okay, I guess I gotta get ready to say no. Well, they
Yeah.
come up, they say hello, I say hi, and then they look at um, another person who was there. It was his sister. They were there,
Okay.
and they start talking to her. I was like, oh, they know her. That's fine. So then I avert my eyes elsewhere because I'm trying to find just something to keep my attention. And the
What about the
lady
people
who
you
was
were there to see? What was going
there were
on?
there was like three of us. There was like 3 to 4 of us. So like they're all having their own conversations or whatever.
Okay.
And like I could join in if I wanted to. I just wasn't.
Okay.
I'm just analyzing the room, right?
Yeah.
I'm just getting a vibe. I'm just getting a feel.
Yeah. You're sussing it out.
I'm digesting my food. I've got a
Yeah.
game on my phone. I'm just playing it.
Yeah, dude.
I'm having a couple drinks. You know me. I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
I'm on cruise control.
Yeah.
And so the girl who was with the guy, she leaves. I guess she went to the bathroom or something. But to me, I thought she just left. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh shoot, she wasn't actually with that guy. She just left him here to hit on my buddy's sister. And I was like, oh shoot, let's listen and see how that plays out. so so then she goes, James, and he goes, Tom. And she was so confident, and when she said it,
No,
and she
dude.
and then she goes, James. He goes, Tom. She goes, I swear your name's James.
She doubles down, dude. Shut
She
up.
doubles she doubles down, and I was like, honestly, don't crack. You should
Honestly, I
convince him.
respect that so hard, dude.
Yeah, I was like, you should convince him his name is James.
Shut the frick up. It's Tom. I swear your name's James.
And then he was like, my name is this. I don't remember what he said it was, so let's go with Jimmy.
Tomothy.
Tomothy. So he's like, my name's actually Jimmy, but I go by Tom. And then
Why would you ever do that?
she goes, why? And he goes, because I hate my name. And then in my mind, I'm like, honestly, respect. I mean, very upfront about it. Also,
Just calls himself something else.
yeah, I'm like, you could have just come up with something better. Like, okay, um, let's just do some role playing here, me and you, right?
Okay,
I
swap.
just kind of want to see off the top. I want to see off the top what your answer would be. So
Okay.
you be the guy with the different name. So you approach me, say hello.
Okay. I'm the guy with a different name.
Yes, you're the guy. Yeah, I'm the
Okay.
girl.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, David.
Yeah, no, it's Jimbo. So
Jimbo. No, I swear your name's David.
okay. It's not. So it's definitely Jimbo. Just said that just
Did
like less than 30 seconds ago. But no, we can just keep going though.
do you did you go by something else or like
Yeah. Well,
which?
actually, my name is Sebastian. But I
Oh wow.
hate that name. I freaking hate that name. So, so I go by Jimbo because I like it.
Wow, that's really cool. I'm glad we've met. I'm glad we're talking.
Yeah, well, we've met before. Obviously, you don't really
Really?
remember it because you didn't even remember my name.
No, no, no. I
So
remember you. You were the dude. You're that guy. You did the thing. Remember? No, you remember. You did like with the sidewalk, and you walked
no,
on it.
say
Do you
it. No,
remember
go
that?
ahead. Nope.
No,
No, there's no
no.
sidewalk. We were
You
inside.
did. No, you don't remember, but you did it. You walked across
I
that
remember.
sidewalk.
I remember. You were
See,
pretty
you know.
sloshed. So
No, no, no. You must have me confused with someone else.
nope.
No, no,
Definitely.
no.
I
You
was
don't know me like that. Get out of here.
just totally
Yeah, just 180s. But then she ended up like the lady who left ended up coming back. Turns out he was just trying to. They were just getting to know each other, and it had
Okay.
nothing to do with anything at all.
Okay.
And then I started watching Family Feud at the bar, and people thought I was spaced out, but I was actually just watching TV.
Yeah.
Um, and then I looked at the time, and I was like, dude, I gotta go to the pod with my best friend, so I gotta go.
That's facts, dude. That's facts, dude. And here we are.
Yeah, honestly, it's because that takes over everything, and I don't even care, dude.
Dude, I
If
was
I
like, I'm waiting here. Everyone was like, "Are you going to do the pod?" And I was like, "I'm just waiting for this fool to get freaking done, bro."
okay, well, I mean, you don't have to be mean and call me names. Like, you don't have to do
I mean, it's
that.
like fool as like an endearing, you know.
An endearing name one endearing fool.
Josh Bolton.
Okay, name someone who isn't me.
Um, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't mean that you're not an endearing fool, though.
It. You know what? You need to understand that your words hurt people, and it can ruin
You've
relationships.
heard that before. Don't act like you haven't.
Dude, I've never heard it.
Like, oh, dude, this fool. You know.
I've only heard it in negative connotations.
Yeah, well, they say it like that.
Yeah, they say it to hurt people,
Like,
and
you
you're hurting
foolish
me.
boy. I didn't say
See,
that.
right there. You meant it, though. You wanted to say
You wanted to say it.
it.
Oh, dude.
Dude, what the heck is going on with you?
Dude, okay, listen here.
Listening.
Last week, okay, I went
Right.
to a wedding. We know this, all right?
Dude,
Well,
mazel
Josh and I
tov to
know
whoever
this.
got married.
Mazel tov. It was actually their second wedding. It wasn't even real. Because basically
What?
they. Okay, yeah, I got to talk about this, dude. Okay, so love the two of them to death. And
We love
so
you guys so
basically, what
much.
happened? Yeah, we love you so much, dude.
Dude,
Um,
I
they
now
don't
pronounce
listen
you
to this,
husband and
so
wife.
dude, third time, let's go. And so what happened is they they got engaged and set the wedding date and everything, and they started like planning, basically, so they both live in the area like 30 minutes apart and stuff like that, and so they were planning for when they were married. They had to get like an apartment so that they could both move into it eventually and all that jazz. Okay, so they're setting up their life, all right.
Yeah.
And so the plan that they made
Okay.
was,
Yep.
okay, so Hayden is going to go get this apartment, and then I'm going to live in this house until we go get married, and then I'm just going to move into the apartment that he's already been living in. And he's going to pay for the apartment, and I'm going to pay because I got to still pay for where I'm living currently. And he also got her a car. And so he's paying like two car payments as well as the apartment that he's at, that she's gonna move into, and then she's paying the rent for her place that she's still living at. And then literally after, like, I don't even know if they had moved in yet, and she says to me, uh actually it's too expensive, so we're just gonna elope and I'm just gonna move in immediately and we're gonna do the wedding later. And I said, didn't you plan it this way? Um,
That's what it sounds like.
I said, you did this. Did you not run the numbers or what? I mean, like, what's the deal here? And so, so I go to the elopement. It was great. Honestly, the elopement was flames.
What is it? Just everyone standing outside at the courthouse, and you're like,
No, we did it on a
"Congratulations."
bridge. We did it on a
Okay.
bridge. There was actually a homeless guy like 15 feet away from us sleeping on the bridge. And a couple
Let's
times he was
go.
like, huh? He was like sleeping when we were all just standing there. It's just
Get
really
out of
funny,
my
actually.
house.
He's like, hey, I'm sleeping. What are you doing?
Get out of my
And
house.
so, so yeah, they eloped. And then it was like, I literally like went to their apartment like last month, and it's just, they're married. And so then I was like, okay, I'm about to go to their wedding. It's not a wedding. And it was basically an acknowledgement that they are married.
Okay.
Um, it was a great ceremony. It was a good week. We did like the bachelor party and everything. But
Dude,
it
I
was
bet it
really
got
funny because
crazy.
like her grandpa officiated the ceremony, and
Okay.
you could tell that he's never done anything like this. He was like, literally, he was like, so you've got the rings on. I don't want you to take them off because that would make no sense. I just want you to acknowledge that they're there.
Mhm.
So they were like, they just looked at their hands, and he was like, yeah. So looks like you guys are already married. It's just like
You're like, is that all it
it was so
takes?
funny to me. And so dude, it
You're
was
just
just
like,
like,
you're just standing in the crowd, and you're like, you're thinking, you're like, is that really all it takes? Really? What?
and
And then
so
you have like, you just happen to have like some, like, let's just say you have some rings on you, just like some plain
yeah,
ring. You're like, and then you go, David, David. He's like, yeah. You go, hold out your hand. He's like, okay. And you go, you just slip the ring on his finger, and you go, we're married.
married,
Well, I acknowledge
married,
it, and you like hold his hand up.
acknowledged, acknowledged.
And then the guy's like, "Hey, these guys get it."
Yeah. So it was entertaining. I kept everyone, like all the guys, we were all like buddies. And so we all just kept telling Hayden like, "Oh, dude, you ready to get married a second time?" That was like the first thing I said to him when I saw him, and he was like, "Dude, it gets funnier every time you say it." He was like, "That's the funniest joke ever," because like every guy kept saying it to him. And then after they got married, after they re-acknowledged their vows again, Noah was like, "Dude, congratulations for the second time getting married." And we kept laughing, dude, because like anywhere we went on the bachelor party, they're like, "It's just a bachelor party," and we're like, "Yeah." They're like, "Who's the lucky guy?" And he's like that. And then I can't remember how it happened, but he's like, "It's my second marriage to the same woman, though." It's it's just like it was so funny to me.
Dude, how funny is it?
Girls want their wedding, so I get it. And they had already planned it beforehand, but they also planned to be spending $5 billion before they got married.
Yeah.
So I was like, kind of seems like it went that way on purpose a little bit.
How funny is it whenever someone goes? It's so funny when someone goes, dude. It's so funny you say that. Uh, Frick, I already lost my train of thought of what I was going to say. It's not important
Dude, it's
anymore. Heck
gone.
yeah, we're moving on.
It's gone, dude.
Yep,
So
love that.
this was like this was what I went to the wedding. It all happened. It was great. Okay, dude. I'm flying to the wedding. Okay. So they bought the tickets for me, because I guess they really wanted me there. Actually, just because
Yeah,
I'm poor,
right,
uh, and they knew that if it was left up to me to buy the tickets, I probably wouldn't be able to, and I definitely was
right.
not able to. And so they bought them like ages ago, and if you buy them earlier, especially through like a travel service, they can change a lot, like the tickets and stuff. And so my tickets end up changing from like a flight from Portland to Chicago to Traverse City, which is in Michigan, is where the wedding was at. It it then changes to I fly all the way down to DFW and then up to Chicago, and I stay in Chicago for 14 hours to wait for an
Yeah,
hour and a half flight.
cripes.
I waited 14 hours for an hour and a half flight, dude. And
That is
so
frustrating.
I get to Chicago at 11 p.m. at night, Central Time. And I think, wow, I have such a long day ahead of me. Also, I haven't had anything but a bagel for breakfast, literally like probably like 15 hours prior. Okay. So I hadn't eaten anything. I was like, I'm hungry. Everywhere in this airport is closed because it's 11 o'clock at night, except for this one sole McDonald's that looks like it was made in the 1970s and has never been updated since. There's a few people in line already. I go up, I click the little dealie, and I order some food. Everything at the airport is unbelievably expensive, and I have no
Hmm.
choice but to buy it because I'm not going to starve, because I was already upset and already frustrated that I was going to stay overnight in the Chicago airport.
Of course.
So I'm starving. I get some Mickey D's, all right? And so I ordered it.
Classic.
There are already people freaking waiting. There is one lady working the register, and there is one old lady, little old lady, bless her heart,
Bless.
one old lady working the entire kitchen, making all of the orders.
Jeez, dude.
Um, it's
Someone
the
help this
graveyard
woman.
shift. Yeah, she needed some help because that was the worst McDonald's I've ever had in my life.
Of
It was
course.
so bad.
Yeah.
and I ate the whole thing because I was starving.
Yeah.
I got 2 sandwiches and some fries and a Dr. Pepper, and it was atrocious, truly.
Love that.
But I mean, I was appreciative that they were there at 11 o'clock at night. I thanked them a lot. I was like, "Thank you so much for this," because everyone was being super rude to them. But I'm like,
Yeah.
there are 2 people working the only food place that's open currently, and you're going to give them a hard time. There's one lady on the grill, and you're going to give her a hard time. I'm like, people are freaking so annoying, dude.
Facts.
Um, so I was like, "Thank you so much for my food and for being open." And they were like, "Yeah, they didn't really care, but it's not for them to care. It's
Yeah.
just me saying thank you." So
Right.
so yeah, I went and ate it. That's when I watched Obi-Wan episode 5.
Flames.
Because I tried to go to sleep and didn't happen, so I stayed up all night in the Chicago airport for 14 hours straight. I was awake for over 24 hours. It was amazing. I like laid on the floor, tried to sleep, could not. And so my friend Connor flew in. He was had the same layover. He flew in, um, like I think 6 or 7 hours after I did. He flew in the morning, like pretty early, like 5 or 6 in the morning. So I was there
Mm.
overnight by myself. And then he flew in, and we spent the day because my flight wasn't until 3 p.m. He flew in after me, and then he flew out before me. I was very frustrated,
Sure.
because he left like a whole 2 hours before me, but I was there for freaking like 6 or 7 hours more than him, before he flew in, and so I was going nuts in that airport, dude. Uh, I made so many jokes. I was like, I'm gonna die in the Chicago airport. I said, I'm never gonna leave this place. I said, when I got out of there, I was telling people about my travel. And I was like, yeah, I flew from Portland to DFW and then I connecting flight to Hell, and I had a layover in Hell for a little bit, and then
Nice.
I flew to Traverse City. Um, Chicago Airport is just sucked, dude. It was so
Really.
stupid. Not necessarily because it's like a horrible airport. It's not really that bad. I found a being there for 14 hours. I explored like a lot of it, and I found 2 spots that were great. If you ever go to the Chicago Airport and you have a long layover there, I'm talking about O'Hare. There's 2 airports around there, I think. Go to Concourse G. It's one of the hallways where all the gates are. It's it's great in the morning when there's not a lot of people there. When it's packed, it's not that great, but it's the coolest temperature in like the entire building. There's lots of natural light. I took like an hour nap there with Connor, and then if you go all the way down to L, and you go down the hallway to the last L gates, there's a sick bridge, and I laid there and took a nap on the windowsill in the sun while I was alone for the last like 2 hours before I flew to Traverse City. So those are my pro
Mm.
tips for the Chicago airport. But I was
Sure.
there. I had a 4 hour layover on the way back. So I was at the Chicago airport for a total of 18 hours last week. Um,
Golly.
and it was a real treat. I'll tell you that much. My body just rejected the McDonald's. I had to get more McDonald's
Of
because
course.
nothing was open. And so it was bad,
It
man. And
probably
it was,
rejected it because we made a pact together to never eat it again,
I
and
told
then
you
you
that
left me in the dust.
my dad freaking made me eat it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you always say,
Yeah,
oh,
he
he
held a
made
gun
you
to
eat
your
it. He held a
head.
gun to your
Yeah,
head.
he held a gun
And
to
he
your
held a gun
head
to
and
your
said, "If you
head. And
don't
he said
eat
to your
it,
head, if you
I
don't eat
will
it,
kill
I will
you."
kill you. Yeah, you say it every time. So I already knew you were gonna say I was
Yeah,
gonna
and
say
guess
it when I
what,
said it.
dude?
And
Your
guess
dad
what?
didn't put
You
a gun
dude,
to
you're
your
dead
head.
in the head.
Dude, just to admit you wanted the McDonald's.
Not a day goes by, not a moment where I eat McDonald's do I go by without thinking about our pact. And I am
Yeah.
sorry, and you know I'm sorry, but
Mhm.
you say I'm not sorry. Um,
Dude, yeah, dude. You were so sorry you moved out of our apartment.
you were so sorry that you disbanded the podcast for 2 years. Oh, dude, that was
Dude, one time
funny.
I was in One time I was in Qatar's airport, and I remember I was in Norway
Uh
for a
huh.
little bit, and they gave me coffee grounds because I loved caffeine. Hold on, I'm yawning.
Okay.
Ah! So, ow, frick. I hit my kneecap, and that, dude, if you've ever hit your kneecap, you know that freaking
Yeah,
hurts.
dude, that sucks.
Dude, it sucks. But so they gave me coffee grounds, and these coffee grounds had like 400 milligrams of caffeine per serving. That's
Okay.
crazy. That's a crazy amount of caffeine for
That's
coffee
a lot.
grounds. That's a lot. So I humbly accepted it, right?
Okay. They gave it
And
to you for
then when
free?
I was,
They just gave it to you?
yeah, they just gave it to me.
Like the flight attendant?
No, 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 no. Where I was at in when I was in doing my DTS
Yeah,
before I
okay, so it's
left.
YWAMers.
Yeah, they gave me the coffee grounds.
Okay.
Dude, these people, dude, they drank coffee like it was water. One time, we had someone on staff they carried a water bottle around, and then the people who were working on the base was like, "You drink too much water. You need to stop." And I was like, "What are you saying to her?" And they were like, "She drinks too much water. That's not good for you." And I said, "Quite the opposite, actually. That's pretty good for you. We all drink way too much coffee." And they were like, "Well, coffee's a liquid." And I said, "So is water." And they said, "Yeah, but it." I said, "If anything, the coffee's worse because you're dehydrating yourself." And they said, "Well, no, it has water in it." And I said, "But your argument is that too much water is bad for you. So if coffee's in it and we're all drinking too much coffee, which has water in it, and if we're drinking more coffee than water, then the coffee is worse. So she should keep drinking the water by your own standards." And they were like, "No, I don't believe that." And I was like, "Oh, I mean, you don't have to. It's fine." Anyway, that's not my point. The point is, I
Dude,
got the coffee
guaranteed they
grounds.
were homeschooled their entire life.
It's a possibility, but I don't know.
Also, maybe their Bible translates water to coffee, so that
Oh
verse
yeah,
where Jesus is at
water
the
to
well,
wine.
he's like, uh, I can give you living coffee. And so they just think they have to drink coffee at all times
Could be. Thou
because of
shalt
that.
not talk to me until I've had my morning coffee.
I love this stupid freaking TikTok where there's like this, it's like this probably 50s, he's probably in his 50s. It's this dude, he's a New Yorker, and he's just got a TikTok following somehow. And he's just like a regular dude. He's not like trendy or anything. And I saw one of his TikToks and he's got like a great thick New York accent. And he goes, don't do me no favors. Don't do me no favors. Don't talk to me till I have my morning coffee. And he says it like
Nice,
four more times. It's really funny to me. But, anyways, continue.
nice. So I'm on my way home back to the States, and I'm in Qatar, and
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever felt like this when you're doing a lot of traveling. My mind just goes completely blank, and all I can think about is like, I gotta get here, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta look for this, I gotta look for that. Like normally, I feel like a lot of
Hmm.
people would be very anxious because they're in a place by themselves. Because I'm by myself and I'm taking like three different flights to get home, and
I
I'm in
love
Europe.
flying, dude.
I don't mind flying. Like the thing I didn't like was like having to go from uh Greece to Amsterdam, from Amsterdam to somewhere else,
Yeah.
to Qatar, from Qatar to DFW. And I remember being in Qatar, and I had to figure out where to go, and I just was just following people until I saw numbers.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was going through baggage claim, and they like check your bag and stuff. They scan your bags. Well, they scan my bag, and then I see them opening it. Normally, they don't open your stuff
Uh huh.
until like they think they see something that shouldn't be in there,
Yeah.
and they go through it, and they get the coffee grounds, and they look at me funny, and they have it in their hand, and they're like shaking it, and then immediately, dude, I have like a flashback in my mind where uh this my old boss who I used to work for, he was telling me about he was doing a job in Qatar on like some oil thing or whatever the heck,
Mm-hmm.
and his buddy had some things in his bag that they didn't think was good. It wasn't anything illegal. It's just things that like they, I guess, I don't know, but they didn't like it. So
Mm-hmm.
they took him to like this room where they put a bag over his head and handcuffed him and then put him in the back of the truck and then drove him out into the middle of somewhere in Qatar and then just dumped him. And then he had to
Wow.
walk all the way back. So I'm thinking, oh, they're going to handcuff me and put a
Yeah.
bag over my head and dump me in wherever the heck.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, that's coffee. If you want to throw it away, it won't hurt my feelings. And they go, well, the limit to bring caffeine is 350, and this is 400. And I said, hey, keep it. And then they threw it away, and I was like, thank goodness, I'm not getting arrested.
And that's when they
And
put the bag over your
that,
head.
and that's when they put the bag over my head, and then they
Yeah.
executed me.
Yeah. Oh, okay, dude. Well, I think that's a great ending to this, and
Oh,
we're gonna jump
we have the
into the
last Kenobi segment.
final Kenobi segment about the finale. So let's just go ahead and
Do
jump
the
in.
final, do the final Kenobi segment. Let's go. Welcome everyone to the final thing of the Obi-Wan review.
The
The
Kenobi segment.
final episode, which is the 6th episode, which is the last episode, and we're doing it. And
We're
we're
doing
here
it.
and we made it. 15 years have gone by for us to see Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. We asked for it, we got it, and the 6th episode was really, really good. The 5th and 6th episode were they were really good. I really enjoyed them. I think that we we should have gotten them a lot sooner. Um, okay, let's talk about the 6th episode, and then we will talk about the
Overview.
series as a whole.
Okay.
Right. The 6th episode I thought I thought it was really, really good. Um, Pretty much everything that wasn't Riva was awesome. Obi-Wan, the whole gist of the episode was just Obi-Wan and Anakin, and they had to fight. Um, Obi-Wan was on the ship with these people who were helping him out, uh, also helping him get Leia back to her parents, and
Mm-hmm.
he left the ship. He was like, I got to leave the ship because it's going to avert Vader away from you guys, and you can get
Yeah.
her home safe, and you guys can get home safe. And they were like, no, you can't do that. And he was like, how about you just freaking do what I say? How about that?
Yeah.
And
How about I'm
he
Darth
does
Vader
that,
and shut up?
yeah, and Vader takes the bait and he follows them there, and the episode is them fighting once more. Um, Only this time, uh, Obi-Wan is completely in tune with the Force once again, and he goes insanely OP on Darth Vader. I mean, at first it was kind of like a back and forth, and then Vader ended up getting the upper hand. Dude, when Obi-Wan was when Obi-Wan was on the low ground where the rocks, and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was standing above him, I'm sure
No, Darth
you,
Vader.
like a lot of people were like, dude, you should say that you have the high ground.
Yeah.
You thought that?
Oh yeah. I was like, is he gonna say it? And he didn't. I think it
Dude, if
would
he
have been
said it,
like, I think it would have been too funny for him to say that. Um, but yeah, I think you were supposed to be thinking that. I think that was totally
right,
intentional.
right.
Like, oh,
And
he's
then,
won because he has the high ground.
right. then he smashes rocks on Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
and then you hear Obi-Wan under, or you don't hear. I mean, he's underneath the rubble, and then he hears the voices of Anakin from their fight in Episode 3, and hears a couple more voices, and then he he goes Ultra Instinct on this man, and Obi-Wan uses his Force abilities. It's nice to see. I loved seeing all the Force abilities and everything like that, and he goes just completely OP on Darth Vader. They duke it out, and then he's like beating the mess out of this man's like breathalyzer chest
Yeah.
plate thing,
That was tight.
basically. To it was tight, but also I was kind of like, this man isn't gonna counter like at all. Like I feel like if you're beating someone's main source of O2, you'd probably be like, stop.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like hurting him or something, so he couldn't
It could have.
necessarily react. I have no idea.
It could have. It was dope though. Their fight scene was incredible. What I
It
hated
was pretty
was
good.
in between the fight when the emotion is building, they would show what Reva's doing as if anyone
No one
gives an
cares.
absolute frick. Dude, get
Nobody cares.
dude, dude. Ask me if I care.
Josh, do you care?
No, no, the frick I don't. Now I'm gonna ask
Dude,
you.
hey,
Okay.
now ask me. Yeah.
Hey, do you care?
No.
Okay.
Listen,
In
we all
retrospect, it
know. I
has.
gave her the benefit of the doubt. I was really trying to be for Riva and the whole thing, and I was right. She, turns basically to the light side or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of saw it coming from a mile away. I hate predictability in shows. My dad, I'm pretty sure that's like he hates that too. If he can guess what's going to happen, usually he does not enjoy the movie or the show or whatever. And so I figured that was going to happen. It did happen. That was disappointing. And yeah, I so don't care. I wanted to see Obi-Wan. I so don't care about Leia. I so don't care about Luke. Okay. Sure, there are parts of the story. I mean, Leia is like, I'm just gonna say it, unimportant. And
That's the
Luke
thing, though,
is the
right?
dude.
Like, we already know what happens to those characters.
Yeah, and the
Like, I
kids
mean, we
did
know what
great.
happens to. Yeah.
The kids did great. Leia did great. No, like shame. But as far as storyline, I think we talked about it last time. I'm like, dude, all you had to do was make a show about Darth Vader hunting Obi-Wan and coming close to it. You could have done like a lot of the things that you did in the show, but not included Leia. You could have just included Luke barely, if anything. It would have made more sense for the entire story because, like, sure, you can spin it that Leia knew like that Leia remembered him or whatever. Like sure you could spin it that it's not weird that she didn't mention any of this in the movies um or act like she knew him whatsoever. Sure you could spin that. What the frick ever, dude. But it's just like it was unnecessary and nobody wanted to see that. Nobody thought, I'd like to see more of Leia as a kid and have that be something. I was just like, I went to go check and see who some of the writers were for the episodes. Because last time, like, Boba Fett was written by freaking Dave Filoni and John Favreau, which I was like, how did you make something so garbage when you've been doing so good
I
for
know,
so
right?
long? They didn't write any of them. But George Lucas wrote some of it. And it was bad, man. Some of it was not great. And so I just really wish they focused way more on Obi-Wan. We kind of talked about this in like mostly every episode. It's just like, I don't care about Riva. I do care about Obi-Wan. I do care about Darth Vader. Riva, get off my screen. Leia, get off my screen. Anyone else,
Yeah,
get off my screen.
like I don't even think the actress did a bad job. I think the way Riva was written was too far gone for anyone to save. I don't think you could put anybody in that role and have it be good
I think
because
she was
it
such
was,
a poorly written character.
dude, it was so bad. It didn't make it. I just
What? It made no sense. where where in your mind would you go kill a child because you got almost killed as a child?
And then
What the
you and
frick
it's
is
like
wrong with you? Like,
and then you're
that's
like
your
it's gonna
idea?
get
Oh my gosh, dude.
like I don't yeah I didn't understand honestly, and I'm stupid, but like when she was when she was going to Tatooine, one, I'm mad because no way you're alive. You've been
No way
this
you're
is the
alive.
third
She
time
went
you've been
so far.
impaled. There, you've been impaled 3 times. Once as a child, and then he just stabbed you twice. He being Darth Vader, he
Yep.
stabbed you twice, and I'm like, okay, I guess Qui Gon
Yeah, I guess Qui-Gon's alive,
didn't get
so
the memo. Yeah, I guess Qui Gon didn't
hey
get the
Qui-Gon, you
memo
know you
that
could
you
have
can
lived
get
through
stabbed
that,
and be
right?
okay.
Could have been totally fine.
Yeah, you just Qui Gon's like, what? And you're like, yeah, you just didn't have, you just don't die. Like that's
Yeah.
the key.
You
And
just
he's
didn't
like,
have to
frick,
though.
man, I
Frick,
did
I
die
died. I
though. And
missed
they're
out on
like, yeah,
so
you
much
should have
money.
just. And so she's like she's at Tatooine. Obviously, everybody knows because she found that little message holocron at the end of episode 5 that she's going to Tatooine.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, why is she there? Because there's absolutely no reason to me at the time that made sense of why she was there, and then it turned out that she wanted to kill, yeah, the child of Darth Vader to get back at Darth Vader, which I'm like, that to me that doesn't make sense because I'm like, I don't understand why that makes sense to you that would like hurt him in a sense because
He
like
does not know he exists.
not at all. And then also, how are you gonna? What are you gonna be like? Hey Vader, I killed your kid. Like whether
Yeah.
you killed him or not, if you just approached him, he would kill you
Yeah.
unless he
I don't
stabs
know,
you.
man.
Apparently,
Like I can get the revenge tactic, but like
yeah.
her whole ideal was like killing Vader because of what he did to her, and then like I mean I know it's happened in other movies before and it's not like the worst thing. Like I get that it's not a totally out of pocket like random thing for someone to become the thing that they most hated. That's like I mean that's an iconic storyline. But it was just like maybe the script and the storyline just fell flat for me, but I just did not feel it realistic whatsoever. If I don't know, dude, it just like it was so stupid and I was like it just felt really like forced and unnatural for her to be doing that and I don't know, dude. Like
The only
killing a
emotion
kid when
came
you're
out.
like, all my friends died and I had to sit under their cold, dead bodies. And then you're like, I'm going to go kill a kid though, because I'm upset about me having to be almost killed as a kid by an adult. And I'm just going to do that. Like she was thinking cognitively enough and it was enough in her face to where that was absolutely preposterous. And she figured it out on her own. She should have figured it out ages before she was standing over that kid. Like nobody was there talking sense to her. Nobody was there like this isn't you. Like you've become what you swore to destroy. Nobody's there talking any sense into her. She literally just thinks about it and goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm literally about to do the same thing he did to me. Crazy. I got to stop this."
Yeah,
Like she should have come to that point before she even got to the planet. Literally the first thing when she's like, "Oh, I see this holocron. Oh, he has kids. Oh, one of them's on Tatooine. Maybe I should go kill that one." She should have thought right then and there, realistically. Oh, I don't want to do that because that's literally what I hate Darth Vader for. Why would I do that and become literally what he hates? It made no sense to me. I was like, this is poorly written and stupid. And uh, I don't think she's a bad actress, but I think that she overacted a little bit. And there were times when I was just like cringing a little bit at her delivery on
her
lines.
character her character should have ended when Darth Vader stabbed her twice.
That would have
And
been
then the sixth
fine.
episode, yeah, the sixth episode should have been what it was, and then cut out the middle part where she was in it. The emotion of the series finale was the fight between Vader and Obi-Wan, which was very emotional. The
It
chemistry
was
between you and
great.
Aiden is amazing, and you feel that in their choreography,
A lot of
in their duel, which is awesome. and then you'd have all this feeling, and then in between the fight scenes, you would have what's Riva doing, and I would be compelled by the dark side when that
Yeah.
would happen because I don't care. I just want to see them fight. Which
Yeah,
and
I
it was
like I whenever that would happen, I'd go, I kind of get Anakin. Like I kind of get him going and killing her. I kind of get that right now.
yeah, yeah, I kind of
I
get that
want to
right
do
now.
that personally. And so yeah, like that's just how it felt. But we have to talk about the dialogue between the two of them,
The
Anakin
dialogue, dude.
and
Yes,
Obi-Wan.
please,
That
dude.
was
Dude,
worth
please.
that was worth all of the bad parts of the series, if
It
I'm being
was.
honest. I'm so
It
mad that we
was.
didn't get more of that. Also,
Oh my
side
gosh,
note, a lot of the
same.
choreography was very similar to Revenge of the Sith, and I love that
Mhm.
because that was like one of their most recent battles, and it was kind of like a callback to that. Like the spinning of the lightsabers and going around your back was like very an homage to Revenge of the Sith choreography, and the
Mhm.
best lightsaber duel we've ever seen that's never been topped.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that whole dialogue was incredible. Um, Best part of the series, hands down. Everything else can
Dude,
go away. Just that part was
especially with
enough.
Vader's helmet cracked
Yeah,
and you saw Hayden's face,
yeah,
and it was his eyes were blue, and you could see that he's still kind of conflicted. This is still his old master, and then you see when he actually puts Anakin to rest fully, and his eyes
yeah.
turn that yellow. And then, um, personally, I would have loved more prequel talk between the two.
Yeah,
Um, they haven't they haven't spoken since the battle on Mustafar. They haven't spoken. I kind of wanted some talk about Padme because I mean Vader's entire Anakin's
that's like the whole
whole
thing. Yeah,
yeah his whole thing with the dark side is like he was just trying to he had a vision of his wife dying and he wanted to save her from that, and then obviously that's not how it went. She ended up dying. They haven't talked about her death, and I feel like that would have been a really interesting conversation between the two. However, the dialogue we still got was very good, and you see uh Obi-Wan trying to talk to Anakin, and then you see his eyes turn yellow, and he says that Obi Wan did not fail him. That Obi Wan didn't kill Anakin; he killed Anakin, being Vader. Vader putting his old self, Anakin, to rest. And then you see, dude, when Obi Wan was crying
yeah,
for his friend, dude, so much feeling in my chest and in my tear ducts a little bit.
dude. My butt cheeks were crying.
Dude, your
I
butt
don't know
cheeks were
how.
crying?
I don't know. I do not know how they did it, but I was like, it felt like I sat on an ice cube. You know, like
Wow.
it was just like my pants were wet, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" And then
Dang,
I heard
teared up
weeping.
cheeks.
I heard weeping,
Wow.
and I heard gnashing of teeth. And it was my butt
That's
cheeks were
huh.
doing that. So it was a wild moment. Like I mean, seeing that on screen and that phenomenon happening in real life. I mean, it was just kind of like this shouldn't be happening right now. Like, why are my butt cheeks making noises?
Right.
Um, I don't understand. So yeah, it was just like a full circle moment for me. Really kind of freaked me
Mm-hmm.
out. Um, yeah. So, anyways, but that was that
Oh,
was
and
an
then the
amazing part.
scream when he screamed for Kenobi. That
Yeah, I
was
thought that was funny, dude, because it was more natural for him to say Kenobi, but he said Obi-Wan, and it's purely because of how iconic the Darth Maul one is from the Clone Wars cartoon.
yeah.
So I thought that was a little stupid, and it was
I
like
loved it.
it wasn't like bad, it was just like I knew why they did it that way, and you can't have it's like now he's been screamed at by two villains the same way, and I'm like okay, yeah, like come up with something else, please. There's other things than screaming. There's really is. There's
Nah,
more
dude,
to
I
the
loved
human
that.
spirit. I loved the way that they made him sound though, like throughout the dialogue, where you could kind of hear Darth Vader coming in and out, and Anakin, you could hear him pretty clearly.
Right.
I loved that. I thought it was pretty freaking incredible. But
Yeah.
I thought the Force bit was like corny, like him holding all the rocks up and throwing them repeatedly. I was like, okay, whatever,
I
man.
kind of like that.
I don't know. I'm more of a fan when it's not like super, super crazy. Like every now and then I'm like, sure. Um, I've never seen Obi-Wan do that. Uh, but like seeing Darth Vader do it was sick. With the ship flying away and stuff. But I was just like, he's just standing there going like holding his arms out, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And he did it for so long that I was just like, okay, cool move, man.
Yeah.
Please move on. Please move on.
Yeah. It was cool seeing Palpatine again, and then
Yeah.
that was freaking awesome.
Yeah, that was
Always
tight.
good to
I
see
loved
him.
I loved just I don't know. I love this sort of like pubescent Vader that we get to see where he's just like obsessed with Obi-Wan because it's not
Hmm.
that way in the original movies. So I like
Yeah.
that they sort of pointed it in that direction of like you need to like Palpatine was like you need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
So that like I think that was a good solid part and portion of this episode
Hmm.
because he's still like I can still get him and he's like because he's a sore loser. I mean Anakin always
Hmm.
was and so um yeah, I thought that was good. But yeah, Palpatine was cool, and then we got to see old Qui Gon.
Dude, oh Qui Gon Jinn,
Yeah, dude.
Mister, I'm too good for TV series. Lim Neeson showed up, and I was like, dude, saw it coming, but I love that I got it.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, too much, like too much, but also like
Really?
okay. It was just like we think it's a big deal, but I don't think overall it's like the craziest thing ever. We've seen it before with Yoda and stuff. It's just kind of like okay, and it was just like kind of like I felt like they were trying to build it up. Obviously the whole time it's coming because he keeps calling out. I was like, are they
Yeah.
going to just have a Liam Neeson impersonator? Is it going to be Liam Neeson as a Force ghost? What are they going to do? I just knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. I was
Yeah.
surprised they didn't do it where he was under the rocks. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was just like, oh, cool. But other than that, I was like, yeah, it's whatever.
I was really happy to see it just because, you know, it's Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn. We haven't seen him since The Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
Um, I just love that we got it. It was really nice to see. It was a good way to end it. I also enjoyed. I liked that when he went to go see Leia that last time, and he was like, because I was like, how does this line up with like, because in episode 4 you have that whole thing where she's like, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. If you
yeah,
serve my father in the Clone Wars." Because to me, I'm like, why wouldn't the message be like, "Hey, do you remember whenever I got kidnapped as a
yeah,
kid and
exactly.
then you had to come get me?" But then he had said that like Obi-Wan told Leia, "Hey, you can't tell anyone about this because it could put um, both of our lives in danger if you so much as even talk about knowing me and this and that." So I'm like,
But then
at
she
least you
does.
covered the base that, huh?
But then she still does. She says, Obi-Wan, you are connected to my family. So like it
He's
still
talking
doesn't really
about.
cover it.
Well, he was talking about like that certain, like her knowing him personally, like
Well,
what
I
they
know,
had went
but
through.
well, at that point it's just stupid because then they're working together. She's literally saying like, "Hey, come to me," in the original movie, and so I think they really should have played off like kids forget stuff. They repress memories, especially traumatic ones. That was for a regular kid that would be pretty traumatic. For her, she was like pretty chipper the whole time because that's like supposed to be her character or whatever, kind of unrealistic. But um yeah, like I would have gone down that path. I think they kind of were stupid with that. I just didn't think they should have done
Um,
the Leia thing at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
But overall, I think 6.5. I could even say 7 out of 10. Everything that had to do with Obi-Wan and Anakin was a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I loved it.
Yeah, those
Uh,
moments were tense
every
for me. I'd say overall, I honestly, now that I've sat on it for a minute, honestly, I'm like 5 out of 10, and I hate to say it, but
Wow. Yeah, and it's not even like I feel like it's not like when I tell people that it's not that I'm saying uh Obi-Wan and Vader. Like I'm not really including that. I guess you are because the 6.5 to 7 for me is only coming from Obi-Wan and Anakin.
yeah,
The points that are missing are from the several wasted scenes on Riva and Leia because and I love like I agree with you, like the girl, both are great actresses. Leia was
hmm
written a lot better, and the little
yeah,
girl who played her was a very good actress. I just think that she should not have had that much screen time.
yeah,
Um, you could have done, let's say they do the Leia thing, you could have done it way shorter. You could have
yeah.
been done with it by halfway through episode 2, and
Honestly,
it would have
yeah,
been
because
fine.
then it would have been like he comes out of the woodwork, and then that's when they like catch his scent, and then it's just the rest of it is just Vader and Obi-Wan. That's what I wanted. That's what everyone
Yeah,
wanted.
that's
Nobody
what
wanted
everybody
this
wanted.
because
Yeah,
no one ever thought that this would be something that happened or a storyline that
yeah,
we ever would see because it's dumb. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, I give it a 5 out of 10 overall. I don't hate it. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I think it was a solid series, which is why I give it a 5 out of 10.
Hmm.
Wasn't exceptional. It was just pretty like, yeah, that was all right, man. But the moments that were great, yeah, were just like anything with Anakin and Darth Vader was amazing. Specifically, Darth Vader with Obi-Wan. I mean, Darth Vader with the Inquisitors was kind of also like I was like, okay. I mean, it's Darth Vader, so I'm like, can't complain. But Riva
Yeah.
is just like, stop, please. Um, and
Did you get the vibes that I did? Like I got vibes watching the series. Occasionally, I get the vibes of Boba Fett, where I was like, I'm getting the vibes that you're gonna prolong what I feel should happen way sooner.
yeah, well, Boba Fett, I just thought you're going to continue making this show, and it's bad. And I can't. I like. I
Yeah,
don't. I don't. I can't imagine this getting worse. And but then it
yeah,
does that. It does get worse.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like worse than I ever could have imagined. Um, Boba Fett, I mean, is a zero. I don't give that squat.
Other than that episode that was pretty much just the Mandalorian.
Yeah, those 2 episodes of The Mandalorian were the best. Those were amazing. I give those both 10 out of 10. Those were great episodes.
Also, don't
But
put those in the Boba Fett show.
yeah, do not put those in the Boba Fett show. Never do that again. Thank you. That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And I hope that I never have to endure something so painful and excruciatingly uh, drawn out as that show was.
Also, don't do a season 2 of Kenobi. Like,
Yeah, don't
people
do
are
that.
wanting that. I it's not that I don't want to see Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen as those characters again. I very much do. I love that. However, we know exactly how every single one of these characters from episode 1 to 9 plays out. I
Yeah.
understand there's in between stuff, but like how much more are you going to fit in? Like, what are you doing for an episode, or I'm sorry, for a season 2 that's going to be entertaining? Because him and Vader can't fight again. Like, I just feel
Yeah,
like
like
that's
the
just
Vader thing
going
is
way
over now.
overboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's
They
done.
don't see each other
Palpatine
again
said
until
that.
episode 4.
Yeah, it's like you're done. He's on Tatooine for the rest of time, and then like, yeah, and it's just so there's nothing you could do. You could come up
Yeah.
with something dumb, sure. That's what we
Yeah,
don't
you
want you
could
to do.
ruin it.
You
Yeah,
could
you
just
could
topple
just
it
ruin
because
it.
this one was like this one was a rocky journey. Okay, we were in a cart and it was like gravel, and then there was like big potholes every now and then, and like
At
we still
least,
made it, but
yeah,
like it's not going to be that again. It will be a big pothole, and then the tire will just get stuck, and then we'll break the wagon, and then it'll be a train. It'll just be a wreck, dude.
yeah.
That's
I
what I
feel
don't
like
want.
at least they didn't ruin those characters. Like
Yeah,
they did not ruin Obi-Wan, nor did they ruin Anakin. And I feel like that's a part of that is from Ewan and Hayden. Like I feel like they wouldn't allow those characters to be completely off from what they were, like how they did Boba Fett,
yeah,
because they completely ruined Boba Fett. R.I.P.
yeah. I was just while you were saying that stuff, I was imagining them making the horrible mistake of making a Riva show. And
Oh, it's coming.
that would be
Oh, you
pretty
know it's
sad.
coming. Yeah.
I could see
Yep.
them doing something so stupid, but and I'm like, I was sitting there going, would I watch that if it came out? And again, I just feel like I have to watch it because it's like it's canon, dude. Just Boba Fett is so bad, dude, and I don't want to ever like. I want to sit here in my pride, and I want to say, I'm not watching that, dude, because that was such a nightmare. But also, I'm
Yeah.
like, well, what if it's not a nightmare? What if it's like actually good? But I'm like, I seriously doubt that it is. But I'm not right all the time, you know. So I just get caught up, and I'm like, sure, is it more likely to be bad? But it's like it's literally a vestige of hope where I'm like, maybe this will be good, and then it's
Right.
not, and I'm just crushed every time, and I'm like, dude, but there's a lot of Star Wars projects coming up soon, you know, in the next like decade, and so that'll be interesting. Like, I'm really interested to see what Taika Waititi does with the Star Wars movie he's going to make, and then Kevin Feige has got, I think, a trilogy or something, or a movie that I think it's just a movie that he's heading up as production. Which so that'll probably be solid because he really respects like lore and storyline and all that stuff. I think he's a good one. Taika
The
Waititi is going to be really
Skywalker
interesting. So
the Skywalker saga just needs to be put to bed. I
yeah,
mean,
I don't think they're. I
Disney
think
has
they said
already
they're not
done
doing
their
anything with it
damage.
anymore. But like,
Yeah, we already got those crap 3 movies.
yeah,
Uh,
like here's a hot take though. I'm kind of over Taika Waititi, man.
what is he I know he's been in, this in Star Wars. I just don't exactly know what he's done per se.
He hasn't. I don't think he's done. I think he directed like a couple episodes of Mandalorian, but he directed Thor Ragnarok and he directed the new
Mm,
Thor, and he's a very popular director right now because he makes funny stuff. And Thor Ragnarok was like incredibly successful because it was a rework. But what always happens is you do a rework uh, and then the second time you do the same thing because that's what you make. That's the kind of stuff that you make. Everyone loves it the first time, and the second time they've already seen it, and so it's old news, and it's not as good as the first time. Um,
yeah.
and so I'm just thinking about the reviews I've seen for Thor 4, and I'm kind of apprehensive about that movie, but we'll see what happens. This is not Marvel talk. We're talking about Star Wars, but I'm just interested to see how his movie's going to be. And then I saw on the
Hmm.
docket, please, please don't cry, but apparently Ryan Johnson is getting a trilogy. Um, and
You're right. Yeah.
so, yeah,
No, I don't believe you.
I heard that, and
N-
I think I repressed that memory. I remember hearing that and going, surely not. And
yeah. No, surely not.
I saw it on the thing though, and
Ryan
yeah.
Johnson's the type that would take this Kenobi series and then kill Obi-Wan like midway through.
His movies just totally
But Ryan, you're
decanonized
breaking
the Obi-Wan
canon.
series, and they're like,
Yep.
the production company, Disney's just like, I think this is good. Yeah, let's do this. They would. That's what they would do. They go,
Yep. They would
I think
definitely
this
do
would be
that.
good.
I think the backlash brings a lot of money in, so
Yeah,
we
they're
should do
like, how
that.
about we have Riva say that she's a Kenobi?
Yeah.
And they're like, that's genius. That's like crosses racial boundaries, and she's like taking up the mantle, and we can just totally decanonize the original trilogy. And they're like, Ryan, I love it. It's different. That's what we need here. New blood. The Star Wars fans want something different. So thank you for bringing this to our attention, and we're gonna go with that. Okay.
But guys, that is our final segment for the Obi-Wan series. It's over. I give it a 6.5. I could be swayed to a 7. Gage gives it a firm 5.
Yeah, can't
And
be
if you
swayed.
try to budge him, he will go down.
Cannot be swayed.
Um, but thank you guys for sticking with us through it. Um, I'd like to know what everyone else's thoughts are. Gage would
Yeah, dude.
also. So leave comments if you want to about that. And just thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for listening to the rest of the episode. We are on everything you could possibly listen to a podcast on, and we're on Twitter somewhere. Just type in Rabbit Trails and find our logo. You could do that. And catch us next week for another episode. So thank you guys for listening and supporting if you like doing that.
Later.
And may the force be with you.
Dude, honestly, may the force be with you.
Honestly, dude, let it be with
Dude,
you.
let it rip.